Hello, my name is Arina, and I'm going to present my research that I've been conducting during this semester. The topic of my research is the role of CLIL in global perspective and project work lesson in NIS school in Almaty, a case study. What I'm going to tell you about today. First of all, I'm going to identify the purpose of my research and my research questions and the hypothesis. I'm going to tell you about who were my participants and which methods I was using during this research. I'm going to outline some literature review, and of course I will tell you about the results and finding of this research. And finally, further research. I have some ideas for further research. I'm going to tell you about them also. So first of all, research questions. To what extent is CLIL used in this lesson currently? In students' perception, I was specifically focused only in students. Secondly, if CLIL is implemented there, what are the challenges that students face usually in the lessons? And lastly, if CLIL is implemented, does this lesson includes all features of CLIL that should be used there? My hypothesis was that 12th grade students in NIS school experience CLIL approach in their lessons of global perspective and project work lesson, and both content and language are equally developed and equally assessed there. Is my hypothesis supported or not? I will tell you later. The setting of my research were Nazarbayev Intellectual School, especially chemistry biology direction in Almaty. So my participants were 12th grade students because this lesson is conducted only in 12th grade. There were 310 students that formed 15 classes, and students were both female and male. So now about literature review. I have been looking through some of the researches that were related to my topic, which is CLIL, and I was focused, for example, on CLIL, content and language integrated learning by Coyle, Hood and Marsh, that were the most fundamental researchers in this field. Why and how CLIL works, an outline for CLIL theory, Van der Kreen et al. So I know that in NIS, in this lesson, the content especially is developed, but not the language, so I tried to focus on the language more specifically. So I found the research, and this paper focused on the role of language in CLIL. Consequently, I developed a definition of CLIL that suits my research, and it states that CLIL is a dual-focused educational approach in which an additional language is used for the learning and teaching of content and language to promote both content and language mastery to predefined levels, and Malgers et al. Stated that. My research method was mainly quantitative. I focused more on numbers and percentage and so on. So I used only a questionnaire, and during these pandemic conditions I used an electronic questionnaire that I've developed through Google Forms. And Google Forms is a free web platform, so everyone can access it, and it automatically calculates all the results and gives you the statistics. Firstly, I have contacted the career counselor in NIS school. She was my gatekeeper, so I provided a consult letter to her, and she provided a consult letter to all the students of 12th grade. So they have read the consult letter and know their rights and limitations and benefits and risk and so on. The main limitation was that during this pandemic conditions, I was not able to come to NIS school and to control that every student participate in my research. So I was only able to remind them over and again. And unfortunately, during this time, I have collected only 10% of response, which were 34 participants overall. My research stages. I prepared the questionnaire based on this literature review and fit in the NIS realia. Thirdly, I sent the questionnaire to all 12th grade students, then I collected the result, then I analyzed the data, I made the statistics, and I summed up all the findings and the results and highlighted the really useful information, and of course I prepared some ideas for further research that I would use or somebody would use. My results and findings were: my hypothesis was not supported at all, and most of the respondents claimed that CLIL in this lesson is not implemented at all, or only to a very low extent. So English is used in this classroom, but only as a means of communication, for example during discussions. I need to highlight that the main thing is that the level of English remains the same throughout the term, and the questionnaire proved that. So the respondents said that they didn't really develop themselves in four main skills of English, and they did not develop themselves in vocabulary knowledge and so on. There were not, of course, if CLIL is not implemented, there were not a lot of considerable issues and problems related to that topic. And what I found really interesting, it was really surprising for me, is that 2% of the respondents claimed that they really have this language assessment in the classroom, and I didn't know how they would have it. So it means that probably there are more than one teacher that teaches GPPW lesson, and probably one of them implement CLIL, and some of them others do not implement it. And this is the question for me now. So further research, there are some issues that need investigation. First of all, what is teachers' perspective about this issue? Because I focused only on students' perception, and these were only quantitative research, because there were a considerable number of participants. Now it can be done through interview, and it will be qualitative research, more detailed one and deep one. Then, how many teachers are there that teach this lesson, to indicate if the presence of CLIL depends on the teacher, and what are the reasons that some students claim that they have assessment and others do not have assessment. Probably it depends on the teacher, or it's just a mistake of the students. So that was all about my research. I really enjoyed conducting it, and I hope that I will have an ability to develop it in the future and answer those 3 last questions about further research. So thank you for your attention. Goodbye.